this place so dry, no love to find. You're the only one that ever acts kind. They all after me, what's happening? I wish that you could see what I see. Your boyfriend's a douche that thinks he's cool and doesn't deserve a girl like you.
Hey guys, it's me, Naruto Uzumaki with Iffer, and today I'm going to be doing part 2 to What If Naruto Was the Reincarnation of L from Death Note and Neglected. Now, before I hop back into this, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, all of that, and don't forget to tell your friends to do that too. But so, let's hop back into the what if. So, last time, as Naruto was heading back to his... Hold up. I'm going to just change some things from last time, because I can't really remember what happened. I'm going to say that Naruto lived in the attic. I don't remember if I did that in the last part, but this time I'm going to say he lived in the attic. And they still haven't graduated from the academy yet. They still got a few years. They've got 3 years. So Naruto would be 9-ish. Yeah, so he'd be 9. But so Naruto's heading back. Or no, he body flickers to the room inside of the Hokage estate, and he's sitting there and he's studying until Manma and Mito come in, and Manma's like, "Hey, loser, what are you doing?" And Naruto's like, "Well, unlike you two, I'm trying to get the best grades in the academy. I don't care that much for the fighting aspect, or even that much about being a ninja. It's just more about the title of things I could do as a ninja, like join the Yambu, or even the Rude Ambu." And Manma and Mito are still too young, or Minato and Kushina have determined that they're still too young to know about the Rude Ambu. But Naruto learned about the Rude Ambu when he saw Kakashi, when he was walking around a corner, or about to walk around a corner, and he heard Kakashi talking to himself about how he should probably just quit the Ambu before Danzo tries to recruit him to the Rude Ambu. So Naruto knows about the Rude Ambu, and he's been listening in on conversations that Kakashi has been having with Ambu members, and sometimes when Minato talks to Danzo. And so he decides he's going to tell them. And he's like, "You both know the Ambu, right?" And Mito's like, "Well, duh, we know, you buffoon." And Naruto's like, "Yes. The Rude Ambu is a special division of the Ambu for the most ruthless Ambu that have cut off all emotion, that have cut off everything, and are only machines made to kill. It is run by Danzo Shimura, one of the council, and I would say probably the worst person in the village besides you two and Mom and Dad. But yeah." And so they yell at him for saying stuff about that, saying stuff like that about a council member, mom and dad, and them. So they beat him up real quick and leave, and then Naruto just goes straight back to studying because his goal is to either become a Rudanbu, since he's already void of most emotion, or if he can't become a Rudanbu, he's just going to become a detective for any village that will hire him to investigate whatever, basically. So he trains like that for the next 3 years, along the way getting smarter and a little bit stronger, but mostly gaining in smarts. And on the night while he's sleeping before the test, he sees this man who looks disheveled and is wearing a similar-ish outfit to his. White long-sleeve shirt and dark teal-ish blue pants with zero shoes and dark messy black hair with pale skin. Naruto wore something similar to what the man wore, but also something similar to the original. He wore a white t-shirt and a completely white jacket like in the original, and dark blue shinobi pants with black shinobi sandals and black messy hair. So he looked at the man and said, "Who are you?" And L said, "Why, I'm L, and I'd say I'm your curse, I guess. At least one of the ones." And Naruto's like, So Kurama isn't the only one that is here. And since Naruto is smart enough, he figured out a way to talk to Kurama when he was 6, and he fooled Kurama into giving him his name. And so he's like, well, what are you? And L's like, well, you see, I'm human, but I'm above the average IQ. My IQ is 211. And Naruto's like, the exact same as mine. So I'm guessing you're the reason for my intelligence. And L's like, I guess you could say that. But I don't know if you should go this Anbu route, or this ninja route in general. It seems genuinely coated with blood, and a true person who believes in justice would not follow a path of bloodshed. I think you should go more of a detective route. And Naruto thinks about it and says that he's going to go the Anbu route, but he doesn't really plan on killing. And L kind of smiles at him and is like, whatever you say, kid. Whatever. And then he fades, and Naruto wakes up, knowing that it wasn't just a dream, but it was someone of either the past or someone from a different dimension or time speaking to him. So he decides, while still following his dreams, he would respect L's dreams to the fullest he could, and he'd become a Rudanbu, but he wouldn't kill people. And if he had to take a mission where he had to kill someone, then he would only incapacitate them and make it look like they were dead. So Naruto gets up, puts on his clothes, gets up, takes a shower, brushes his teeth, puts on his clothes, and heads over to the academy. And he's just sitting there eating a slice of cake that he stole from a bakery when they weren't looking. And everyone's just looking at him, thinking about how he's gonna bomb both parts of the test, the physical and the written, since they thought he was stupid. And so Naruto goes up. He passes the written part with flying colors, and then he does the physical. And instead of making like a floppy shadow clone, he makes 20 and then transforms each of them into a different student in the class. So basically, every student that was in the class was so he basically made shadow clones and then transformed the clones into everyone that was in his class. And everyone was impressed, because not even Sasuke did that. Sasuke only made 5 clones, and even then, all of the 5 clones only looked like Haruka. And that was kind of the limit. But Naruto did all the kids in his class and made it look like did like 20 clones and each kid in his class. So they're kind of impressed. And so Naruto got his headband, except he didn't want to be a normal Genin. He wanted to be Anbu, as said. So he walked up to the Hokage office after getting his headband, not even waiting for an instructor or to be placed on a team. So the person that will replace Anbu on Team 7 is Menma, and I'm going to say that there are 2 other random kids or something to be on Mito's team, and one of them was like a Hyuga, and the other one was was like a Sarutobi or something, I don't know. And so yeah. So Naruto walks up to the Hokage's office, walks in without even knocking on the door, goes over to Danzo and is like, Danzo Shimura, I want to be part of the root Anbu. And Danzo looks at him and is like, the root is serious. It's no place for a child. And Naruto's like, I'm more than just a child. I'm what's keeping your village alive. I am the 9-tailed beast after all. And I have better detective skills and a higher IQ than anyone in this room. And so that kind of insults everyone in the room, especially Minato. So Minato yells at Naruto to walk out. And so Naruto challenges Minato to a battle in wits using a chess game. And so Naruto checkmates Minato in 3 moves. And that just proved that Naruto was pretty smart, because he beat pretty much the smartest person in the room, if not in the entire village. So Danzo decides he's going to recruit Naruto, because, I mean, he was planning on just killing him and taking the 9 tails for himself. But if this kid is this smart, he wouldn't mind having the kid on his side for a while. Maybe raising him up a bit, and maybe not even killing him at all. So Danzo's like, I'll take the kid off your hands. And he takes him. And he lets Naruto kind of keep his outfit. Kind of. He just wants him to conceal more. He wants, So, Naruto Naruto does have to change his outfit up a little bit, but it's still pretty similar to his old one. And I'm going to say his Anbu mask has the kanji for L written on it instead of the normal masks that like Kakashi and Itachi wore. His has the kanji for L. So Naruto joins the Anbu at the age of 12, and so this time Naruto had like a growth spurt, and he wasn't the shortest in the rookie, not in the rookie 12 or something, but he wasn't the tallest. He was like the second. No, he was like the third tallest. But remember, he used to be one of the shortest. So he had a growth spurt over like a few months, and they just didn't see him anywhere, so they kind of forgot what he looked like. So Naruto is in the Anbu, and I'm going to say that the Akatsuki doesn't start capturing Jinchurikis early, but they do start. The word gets spread around about them early, about how they're like preparing to, and so Naruto hears about this from one of the Anbu, and he walks into Danzo's room, which is in a secret part of the Hidden Leaf that nobody except the Hokage, the council, and the Root Anbu knew, like a select few Root Anbu, and Naruto being one of them, along with Kakashi, or Kashi used to be. So, Naruto walks in and asks Danzo if he could get Jiraiya here as early as possible and get information on, get as much information on the Akatsuki as possible, so he could determine a plan for who's the strongest to weakest, how they could get rid of each Akatsuki member, and a plan to stop them before their plans even start, basically. So he basically wants to know what their powers are, what they look like, what their personality is, and their past, kind of. So 2 weeks later, it takes a bit of time to rally up as much information as Jiraiya can, and Jiraiya gets a little bit more information this time on most of the members. He actually gets information on all of the members, but it varies from each person to each person. They know a lot about Itachi because he was in their own village. They know a bit about Kisame because he was one of the 7 ninja swordsmen. And they know a bit about Deidara and Sasori. They don't know much about Pain. They know a bit about Kakuzu from reading history books that he supposedly fought the first Hokage. And they know, the only thing they know about Hidan is that he's immortal and he's part of some weird cult. So Naruto reads through all their files and he determines that, I don't know if this was a canon or if I'm just remembering it like this, but he determines that Hidan is the weakest because if you break his link to any weapons before he could if you break his link to the Jashin thing, then he won't be able to use his power because Jiraiya got some files on fights that had happened that people witnessed and made out alive from. You know, like people that have witnessed fights. They said that after the blood thing happened, whatever he did, he drank some person's blood, and that's when they started taking damage from their own attacks. Kind of, like, it wasn't as organized because they were kind of scared, so they weren't able to remember that well. But so that's what Naruto determines. So he determines if someone can capture him before he can do this ritual, then it should be pretty easy to beat him. He thinks that he thinks that all the others would be at least difficult to beat, like someone of Kakashi, or maybe even a bit more, like Sanin level. He knows that Pain would be difficult to defeat, but as long as he just convinces someone strong, strong enough, like like I don't know, basically someone really strong, they could defeat Pain. And he thinks, based on what they could get from Pain, they know that he has a Rinnegan. And going off of what Jiraiya said, the only person he ever met, ever throughout all of his travels, to ever have a Rinnegan was this kid named Nagato. So based on the past with Nagato, and from what Jiraiya knew about this Pain person supposedly having a Rinnegan, he determines that this guy is most likely the leader, but could be a fake leader for someone who could be more powerful, but he doesn't know for sure. It's only a 1% chance in his mind. But so that's all of that is a month. All of that happened right after the test. Well, not all of it. It was over a month span. It took 2 weeks to get Jiraiya, give him all the information. It took a while for Naruto to come up with some theories on the Akatsuki members. So it took them a month. So by this time, the training exams are coming up. And Naruto's already passed that. He graduated from Genin to Anbu in just under a day. So he's going to go watch the exams because he wants to see. Don Tsushimura wants to see the earliest as possible he could get new recruits into the Root Anbu. Because I'm going to say, Don's in this one is ruthless and kind of cold-hearted, but he's less than the original. In this one, he's not 50%, 25 to 40% less cold-hearted. So a lot less, but he's still cold-hearted, right? And so he wants Naruto to go there for him to see if they could get any new Root Anbu members, or just Anbu. Any ninjas that could graduate from Genin to Anbu quickly, just like Naruto did. Or any ninjas that Naruto thinks in the near future, near future, could become Anbu. So Naruto goes there. He has his eyes set on a few people, which is the Sand. He has his eyes set on Sasuke because he knows he's good, and then that's about it. That's all who he has set eyes on. He's set his eyes on Neji, but he thinks if Sasuke might be too spiteful to join the Anbu, he could probably get Neji, because even though Neji seems kind of like a hateful guy, as long as he could explain to Neji or calm him down enough to not be a killer-ish person, he feels like Neji would be a pretty good Anbu fit. So he would just have to explain to Neji what happened, and then convince Neji that the Anbu was a good option for him, and could work him towards convincing his family to, basically, like how Sasuke was trying to redeem himself, and Neji would be doing that by joining the Anbu and helping the village out. Or something. Right? So, yeah. So, He has his eyes set on Sasuke and Neji. He saw this other kid, Rock Lee, but he thought Rock Lee might have been a little bit too kind-hearted and just too nice in general. And also, he looked weird. No offense to people that look weird, but he just thought that Rock Lee was just kind of a weird person, a bit too lighthearted for Yambu. So, he decided that he had his eyes set on Neji and Sasuke. So, he watches inside of the forest. He's learned this new jutsu where it's like he's invincible he's invisible to everything, even with a heat camera or night vision. You can't see him. And also, only in certain parts, like one part of his body at a time, can he become intangible. Like, he can do his left arm, his right arm, his head, torso, left leg, or right leg, but he can only do one of them at a time. He's going to try to upgrade that ability later. And yes, it's kind of like Kamui, but not Kamui. Because it's not going to another dimension. It's there. It just loses all physical interaction with this world. It kind of becomes like part of a ghost-ish. It's like he's transforming into a ghost. Except he's still alive. So, he watches the teams that he thinks will be good. So that would mean Team Guy, which I'm pretty sure was like Team 10. And Team 7, which is Sasuke, Sakura, and Menma. So, he plays a prank on Menma by getting Menma to think there's a ghost, and Menma ends up running off and getting lost. But so, Naruto, Naruto just is kind of chilling and watching the teams he thinks will be the best. And when they get to the fighting, and it goes by as normal. It does go by a little bit slower because Menma. I mean, I know Naruto didn't do that much in the original, but Menma is not doing a lot at all. So they go to the fight. I'm going to say this time, Menma would kind of be replacing Naruto, except he's not as kind as Naruto. He's more of like an ass, I guess. Oh, dang it. But so, he'd still stand up for... I'm just going to skip all the unimportant fights. Neji does do the same thing. And Menma this time stands up for her. And when Neji is walking away, Naruto body flickers down super quick up from where he was spectating on like the ceiling using chakra control, and grabs Neji and body flickers back to the Anbu base. No, he doesn't body flicker inside the Anbu base. He body flickers near, like in the forest that surrounds the root Anbu base. So Neji's like, "Where am I?" And he turns around and he looks at Naruto's just like, And then he uses his Byakugan to see through the mask, except Naruto has this special material on his mask so that nobody could see through it. And so so Naruto, that doesn't happen. But Naruto's like, don't worry, Neji, Hyuga. I know you're just the perfect fit for us. And Neji's like, what do you mean perfect fit for you? I don't even know who you are. And Naruto's like, I'm Naruto Uzumaki. Also one of the best root Anbu. And Neji actually I know you're an actual Anbu, but who are you actually? And Naruto takes off the mask, kind of, to show like a little bit of his face. And he has changed a little bit, but he still looks similar. I don't know if I said that right. Like, he's changed, but not changed enough to the point where he's unrecognizable. So, Neji goes, it's him, and asks how he got in the Anbu. He says he beat the 4th Hokage, aka his father, at a chess game, and he only needed 3 moves. Neji's actually kind of surprised. Neji asks him why they would want him for the Anbu, besides him being a Hyuga. Naruto says that he feels like if Neji lost hold of that grudge and trained more and in more techniques than just the Hyuga technique, he could be a perfect Anbu, just like him. And Neji asks why he should let go of it since the grudge is valid, and he doesn't call it a grudge. Naruto tells him the truth, which is because he was told this by the council, because once he's let into the root Anbu, he kind of gets all the village secrets, or most of the village secrets. Not like the really, really important oldish ones, but he does get some important details about stuff. Like a lot of important stuff. And they mostly tell it to him because they realize how smart he is and how many mysteries he could solve. Right? So, Neji sits there, thinks about it, and, kind of realizes that okay, well, if they let me in, tell me. And Naruto's like, alright. And then he grabs Neji by the shoulder, teleports him back to the front of the Hyuga compound, and kind of pushes him towards the door a little bit, and then body flickers away. And before this, he put his mask back on. And so he goes up to their kind of trainer, because they had a trainer which he would determine if somebody got let into the root Anbu, and he was directly under Danzo, because Danzo didn't want to have to approve everyone that went into the root Anbu. Because he sometimes just wanted a break from doing all of that. So, Naruto asked if Neji Hyuga could be let in. The trainer asked him why he thinks it would be valid for Neji Hyuga to be let in. Naruto says that even for I'm pretty sure a side clan, a side branch of the Hyuga, he has almost full perfection of the Byakugan, and he is skilled and has practically mastered the Hyuga technique for his age, and that he could also master other techniques and mix it with his Byakugan and Gentle Fist. So the trainer listens to his speech, which is only around 5 to 10 minutes, and so he decides to let Neji join. So Naruto body flickers back to the Hyuga compound and knocks on the front door, and Hisashi is there, and he's like, what do the Anbu want? this time. And Hisashi has never really met Naruto, and even when he did, Naruto was like a little kid, like 7 or 8. So Naruto's voice has gotten like a little bit deeper, and he's like, I need Neji Hyuga. And he's like, what did the brat do this time? And he's like, I need Neji Hyuga for the root Anbu. And Hisashi's face kind of looks shocked. And he's like, Neji, come get here. And Neji comes here and he's like, yes, what is it, Hisashi? And then he looks and he's like, oh, no, hello. What is it you need? And he's like, you've been led into the root Anbu. Pack your things. We need you there within 3 to 5 days. And I think that's where I'll be leaving this off. Bye, guys.